These are the most painful Warhammer 40k deaths. Necron Gauss Flare. What if you could feel your body being deleted molecule by molecule? The Imperium has fought wars for 10,000 years with one assumption: soldiers die from wounds. Then the Necrons woke up, and that assumption became worthless. The Necrons are ancient skeletal machines that went to sleep 60 million years ago. They're waking up now from tomb worlds scattered across the galaxy, and they brought weapons that erase. They are Gauss Flares. These guns strip matter molecule by molecule. When Imperial Guard regiments first encountered Necron forces, they responded with standard tactics: massed las fire, armored charges, void shields. None of it worked. Gauss weapons tear straight through any armor, power fields, ceramite, tank plating like it's wet paper. Soldiers watch their battle tanks dissolve in atomic mist, then watch their own hands do the same. The nervous system stays intact long enough to feel. Depending on where you hit, if you're lucky, you'll get the headshot, or you're unlucky and watch as every layer is stripped away. Skin, muscle, bone, all reduced to component atoms that scatter in the wind. Watching your skeleton disintegrate while your brain processes the impossibility of still being alive to witness it. Tech priests tried studying captured Gauss technology. Every attempt ended in catastrophic failure. Either the weapons exploded, or the researchers dissolved themselves. Can't replicate it, can't counter it, can't even understand the physics involved. Current Imperial doctrine is simple: avoid Necron tomb worlds entirely. If avoidance isn't possible, orbital bombardment before they fully wake up. If they're already awake, throw overwhelming force and accept the losses that come with it. Currently, at the 41st millennium, no effective counter has been developed. Suspected tomb worlds get quarantine protocols, but there are millions of them, and they do keep waking up. Drukhari Homunculus Laboratories. The Dark Eldar don't raid for resources, they raid for screams. The Drukhari live in Gomorrah, a city in the Webway, an ancient network of tunnels outside normal space. Their entire civilization fell when their self-indulgence birthed Slanesh, a chaos god who now hunts their souls. Every Dark Eldar is slowly having their soul drained just for existing. The only way to refill it is by feeding on the suffering of others. The homunculi are masters of this, ancient beings who've perfected torture for 10,000 years. They run flesh laboratories where they reshape bodies and generate endless suffering. When Drukhari raiding parties strike Imperial worlds through webway portals, the captured are brought back as raw materials. Imperial worlds fortified with void shields and orbital defenses. Didn't matter. Drukhari webway portals allow surprise strikes that bypass all defenses. Captured slaves attempted suicide or rebellion. The homunculi have regeneration technology that renders those efforts futile. Death isn't an option because they won't allow it. Victims arrive at the laboratories. The homunculus begins their work. They torture, yeah, but they also rewrite. Nerve endings get multiplied and rewired to amplify every sensation. Pain receptors enhanced beyond human capacity. Regeneration keeps victims alive through procedures that should kill instantly. Some victims become grotesques, multi-person flesh sculptures stitched together while conscious. Others become components for pain engines, building-sized torture machines that run on suffering. The homunculi might decide a victim's eyes would look better on someone else and transplant them while the victim watches through the remaining eye. They might wire nervous systems into their weapons so the victim's agony literally powers their guns. The process can last for years. Their technology keeps victims viable for arenas where they're forced to fight or to trade to other Drukhari as exotic slaves. The ones who escape, and escapees are rare, usually come back insane or mutated beyond recognition. The Inquisition hunts webway breaches, but Gomorrah remains inaccessible. The raids persist, billions enslaved, no rescue, no hope. Nurgle's Rod. Nurgle is the chaos god of disease and decay. He loves humanity. He wants to share that love the only way he knows how: through his plagues. Nurgle's Rod spreads through chaos incursions, demon attacks, or infected cultists. Once it's on a planet, it doesn't stop. The disease rots victims alive while binding their souls to Nurgle. Entire planetary populations turn into festering hordes that overwhelm defenses through sheer infectious resilience. The Imperium tried everything. They tried quarantines, but the rot mutated to survive in vacuum. Bombardments with spores survived orbital fire. The Sisters of Battle, warrior nuns, attempted purges. The rot adapted and infected them too. Vaccines don't work because the disease changes faster than solutions can be developed. Infection starts with a cough, then the fever, boils appear, standard plague symptoms. But this isn't a normal disease. See, the victim's body starts rotting while they're still alive. Flesh turns green, then black, then falls off in chunks. Maggots appear in wounds that shouldn't have maggots, yet because the victim, isn't dead. Files swarm constantly because they smell like a corpse buffet. The pain is, well, it's like every nerve ending screams as the body decays in real time. The victim falls apart piece by piece, awake for all of it, but they still don't die because Nurgle's gifts keep them alive till they've reached the most disgusting level their body can go. The heart keeps beating, lungs keep wheezing, the brain keeps processing the agony. Eventually, the victim does die, and their soul used as fuel to create a plague bearer, which is a lesser demon of Nurgle. Their soul is bound to him eternally. They serve in his garden, counting diseases and spreading plagues across the galaxy. Somewhere deep inside, the human part is still screaming, but they can't express it anymore. Nurgle thinks they're happy. They're not happy. Outbreaks ravage hive worlds constantly. The Death Guard, Nurgle's Space Marine Legion, spreads it unchecked. There's no cure, only soul binding to the Emperor offers partial resistance, but most sectors fall to the endless pandemics anyway. Astronomican Choir. Want to keep a galactic empire connected? Just burn 10,000 psychers, humans with psychic powers, alive continuously. Forever. The Imperium calls it necessary sacrifice. The psychers would call it what it is, but only for 3 months before there's nothing left. M30. The Emperor needed to unify humanity across the galaxy. The problem? Traveling faster than light through an alternate dimension called the Warp without navigation means ships get lost or eaten by demons. The ships needed a psychic beacon so navigators, specialized psychers, who see through the warp could plot routes. Individual psychers weren't strong enough to be the beacon, and while the Emperor could do it personally, he had a crusade to lead. Can't conquer the galaxy while doing lighthouse duty, so he built the Astronomican. Psychers were brought to Terra, humanity's homeworld, by the thousands daily. The black ships, the Imperium's collection vessels, find them young and ship the powerful ones to the chamber. When they arrive, they feel 9,999 other psychers screaming before seeing them. The new psycher gets linked in instantly. Their mind connects to thousands of others, channeling power through the Emperor's will. Their soul becomes fuel. They're burning, and it doesn't stop. They last 3 months on average before there's nothing left, identity erased, memories gone. And when they're out of juice, they get disconnected and replaced. The number always stays at 10,000. These people don't volunteer, the bureaucracy assigned them. But the Imperium needs the Astronomican, so tough luck. Servitor conversion. When a worker, soldier, or criminal is deemed redundant, the Adeptus Mechanicus, the machine-worshipping tech priesthood, doesn't kill them. They repurpose them, though they might have preferred to be killed. But killing wastes parts, recycling is a doctrine, and pain burns sin, making your flesh nice and tender for the taking by a machine spirit. Innocents get knocked out cold because they've got nothing to purge, while criminals and heretics get the full experience. Restraints, skull saw, cortical drill, neurovirus injection, every step. Eyes gouged out, replaced with targeting cameras, vocal cords cut, rewired into speakers that only emit machine code, limbs amputated, swapped for industrial pistons or welding tools, spine flayed open and laced with conductive wires. I think you get the idea. When the machine spirit, the AI running your body, boots up, the Servitor wakes. A sliver of the original mind is left alive, buried under obedience protocols. It knows what it lost. It feels the endless decades of hauling fuel drums, scrubbing reactor coils, marching into gunfire as a living meat shield. It cannot disobey. It cannot off itself. It cannot even blink without a tech priest's authorization. The Mechanicus churns out millions annually. Heretics. Workers who miss quotas, children born in the wrong hive district, their skulls get stamped with the cogwheel icon of the Mechanicus. Their eternity is a conveyor belt that never stops. The lucky ones get destroyed in combat. The rest keep serving until the flesh rots off the metal, and even then, the AI core gets salvaged and slotted into a new corpse. Daemonculaba. When your solution to a recruitment shortage is turn women into living factories that birth space marines by tearing themselves apart, you've crossed a line even chaos worshippers find disturbing. M41, in the Eye of Terror, a warp rift where chaos reigns. On the Iron Warriors' demon world, Medrengard. The Iron Warriors, traitor space marines, faced a supply problem. Creating new marines traditionally takes decades, recruitment, training, 19 separate organ implantations. They were losing marines faster than replacements and couldn't recruit from Imperial worlds. First, they tried capturing loyalist marines for corruption, mostly failed. Then they tried using chaos cultists as base material with stolen gene seed. Results were unstable mutations, madness, barely functional Marines. Warsmith Hansu had a worse idea. Step 1. Grab female slaves, lock them in cages, and force-feed them until they bloat huge. Step 2. Dark Mechanicus butchers called Savage Morticians cut them open, rewire the womb, and embed stolen Imperial Fist gene seed straight into the womb walls. Step 3. Slice the belly wide, no painkillers, shove in a screaming adolescent boy from the slave pens. Staple his arms and legs to the inside of the womb so he can't fight, sew the woman shut. Step 4. Pump gene seed paste, made from ground-up dead Marines, through tubes into the woman. Womb tentacles and parasites carry to the boy. Chaos magic speeds everything up. In days or weeks, the boy mutates into an 8-foot Chaos Marine. The woman felt every second awake. Skin stretched translucent, organs shifted, bones cracked. Weeks pass, then the Marine is ready. There's no natural way out. The body tears open, the Marine claws free, ripping through the woman to escape. Most women die immediately. Ones who survive get sewn back up and implanted again. Renewable resources. The Marines that crawled out were skinless, screaming half mad. Failures, the unfleshed, were flushed into waste pits to rot. The ones that worked got skin with stretched slaves, hides, and thrown into combat. It didn't matter if they lived 5 minutes, they were always more. The Ultramarines found these chambers during the Skull Harvest campaign and burned everything. Not because it was heretical, they expected that from Chaos, but because even by 40k standards, this crossed lines that shouldn't exist. The facility was destroyed, Hansu escaped, rumors persist of rebuilt versions elsewhere in the Eye. It might still be happening. Dreadnought Entombment. Space Marine chapters found a way to preserve their greatest warriors indefinitely. The warriors just wish they hadn't. Since M31, the chapters face the same issue. Veterans with centuries of combat experience kept dying. All that tactical knowledge was lost forever. They tried recording doctrines and training simulations. Worked partially, but instinct from 300 years of warfare can't be taught. Solution? Dreadnoughts. Walking sarcophagi with life support. When a Marine takes mortal wounds, the apothecary cuts out what's viable. Torso, head, whatever functions, and seals it in a sarcophagus with fluid and neural cables. The Marine lives. The chapter keeps the experience. Everyone wins. Except the Marine. The Marine wakes in absolute darkness. Can't move, see, or feel anything. Tries to scream. No mouth, no lungs, just panic. Then they activate the Dreadnought. Suddenly, sensor data instead of eyes. A walking tank instead of a body. Everything feels wrong. Then, back to sleep. Being conscious drives Marines insane. Sensory deprivation, disconnect from having a body, and endless darkness. Chapters only wake Dreadnoughts for battles and ceremonies. Then back to sleep for decades. Even centuries. Each time a Dreadnought wakes, more is lost. Memories fading. Can't remember brothers' names or the last battle. Tech Marines say it's normal stasis degradation. It's not. Each sleep cycle damages the brain. Eventually, they forget everything. Why they fight, who they were, is just wake, fight, sleep. Most lose themselves until nothing's left but combat protocols. Marines don't volunteer for this, by the way. Chapters decide while they're dying. Some beg to die once they understand. Better to fall in battle than fade in a walking coffin. But chapters need Dreadnoughts. The Marine suffering is secondary.